Hello, Taylor Croth here. I have my Module 4 for AEP 855. I'll begin by talking about as far as our building, kind of our model institution. I had the chance to visit with Tyler Flavin. He is our building principal at Mead Elementary School. And so to begin, we kind of started by talking about the responsive culture. Kind of in his opinion, this is one of our strongest points that we kind of have. You know, our vision is very clear that we want to make sure we're accommodating to all the 21st century learners. And I think that's important that he knows that, obviously, because we all know that today's learners and the learning styles are much different than they used to be. So I think that's very important that we have that vision and that, you know, he makes it clear as the building principal. A few of the things that we have in place that we kind of do to respond to that culture would be, you know, we do have our building site council, which is made up of a board of teachers that we just kind of go over, you know, maybe different issues or things we want to change within the school. And then we also have our we have a committee that's built up of teachers and parents and some community members that just kind of, once again, kind of addresses those topics, throws some ideas out just to kind of make sure we're accommodating to our community and to our students in our building. We do respond by, you know, we have our standardized testing that we do. And, you know, we take those scores and we kind of use that to reflect what we're needing to, you know, differentiate on, maybe areas that we're needing to improve in. Next, we kind of touch base on rigor. We have made strides, in his opinion, in our building. One being we just purchased a new reading curriculum and we incorporated that finally pre-K through 6th grade. So I think after visiting with him, you know, after a few years, hopefully we'll see some great gains by our students by us using that consistency, you know, using the same curriculum. So hopefully that obviously will pay off in the end academically for our students. You know, and like he said, time is needed to kind of develop that scope and sequence and to see how it works and where we need to improve in what areas. So also one area, though, he said, you know, we do need to make improvements in would be our social sciences and our sciences. We don't have kind of not a consistent curriculum there, and so that would be something in the future that he would maybe like to see done, is to get, you know, something consistent throughout that and implement that to increase, you know, that phase of rigor. As far as relevance, you know, he thought those were kind of similar, but we are stronger, he thought, in the category of relevance because of, you know, the technology that we use in our building. So we obviously implemented this new curriculum, and then we do have a few programs online that we use that can kind of help the kids practice those skills. One big one is Lexia. Our school loves that. We've talked with the teachers about what they like best. Lexia just really hits in on those Common Core, those things that the kids need to be working on. So that is definitely one we like. Need in the relevance areas to learn how to reach, you know, every single learning style. There's so many different learning styles. You know, if you have a classroom with 25 kids, you may have 25 different learning styles. So as far as that, we would be transitioning. We're still working on that. And jumping back, I forgot to say overall. So rigor overall, we are in the implementing phase of that. And then we are modeling in responsive culture, kind of forgot to tack those on. As far as relationships, we, in his opinion, are definitely modeling. We evidence a lot of the criteria as far as the relationship category. So some of the programs we do, we have a mentor program for new teachers where you get paired up with an experienced teacher, and that's nice. You can get advice, you know, go to them if you have something going on in your classroom, you're not sure how to handle it. That just made it really nice for, I know, especially me as a beginning teacher. That's been very good. Then we have started some new PLCs where we meet kind of grouped together by grade level and see, you know, how the kids are doing, how are they responding to this new curriculum, you know, what discipline issues might we be having, just kind of go over anything and everything. But it's just been kind of nice to touch base with other grade level teachers and kind of stay on the same page. We did just do also, as far as community and relationships, we did a national education breakfast. We invited all the families, all the students and their families in. You just had to RSVP for a free breakfast. That's something wonderful we do. We have a Halloween parade that the families can come to, and then, you know, we also involve parents and they can volunteer to do AR tests in our classroom, or as far as, even cutting things out or just little tasks like that, helping the teacher. So that's been fun, and so we definitely are modeling in that area. As far as my principal's leadership style, when I looked back in the module 1 with the leadership styles, I was reading through my own paper and I kind of compared him to the participative, which was one of the ones that I showed, just because he's very good at, strengthening relationships amongst, all of us within the building. And another thing, too, he's very good at, empowering, giving everybody a job, so we have these boards or we have these committees, and, he'll kind of break it down and give everybody a responsibility. And I think that makes it nice so that, one, obviously not just one person's in charge, and two, just because it kind of breaks it up and makes everybody feel like they're able to help out. So that's been something that I kind of see in him as the participative leadership approach. But like I said, very good at strengthening relationships, keeping everybody on the same page, keeping everybody in the loop, so that we know what's going on within the building. As far as areas of school improvement, the two that we identified, when we talked about them, we kind of touched base on, one would be like objectives. Coming straight out of college for me, objectives are a big thing. To display them, to have your students say them, the students will, or I can show I know. And so that was an area that we'd maybe like to improve in. Some teachers do that, some don't. So maybe to kind of get that consistency along the line of everybody doing those objectives. Another area we talked about is just that rigor, which, like we talked about on the R's, that's an area that we do need some improvement in. So, just seeing that consistency and that fidelity, that's obviously why we incorporated this curriculum for pre-K through 6th grade, because we want to see that fidelity. We want to see everybody on the same page, obviously, kind of going after the same goals to help better our students and to help to make it a little bit more simple, hopefully, on our students and just an easier transition. So when we talked about those, so when I thought then about my vision for the school, and when I looked at the PSEL standards, I kind of came up with, standard 1 was mission, vision, and core values, and I think that touches base on, both of those, that consistency and also those objectives, develop, advocate, a shared mission and a vision and the core values. So I think that hits home on, both of those. That's part of our mission and our core values. So the next one was the ethics and professional norms. I think, like the objectives, using those daily and incorporating those daily, we need to make that a professional norm. And as far as incorporating these, when we talked about them, for our small town, it's just honestly a matter of discussion. Talk about it, get some pros and cons, but if that's what he feels or the school feels is best, then honestly, like I said, we're a small town, so if that's what he tells us he thinks is best, usually all the teachers, we're going to give it a try and obviously hope it goes well. So, and then standard 4 was the curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and I think that is spot on. The objectives go along with the curriculum and the instruction, how we're providing it to our students, and that rigor, that's part of all of that. That incorporates the curriculum, the instruction, and the assessment for our students. So I'm a little over time, I'm sorry, but that kind of touches base on my KESA assignment. Thank you.